and then a generous bunch of flowers from a little girl. Everyone had been asked to wear gold or red. When the princess went to meet her husband's favourite group, the 3 Degrees, they chose red. But the event won't end up in the red. It was a sellout.
And tonight's main story again, the Geneva summit has ended with an agreement for the 2 leaders to meet again and take steps to promote a better understanding between East and West. But there's no firm agreement on nuclear arms or Star Wars. Today's signing brought to a formal close the first meeting between the superpower leaders for 6 years.
In many ways, it was an extraordinary 2 days. From the first warm handshake, they seemed determined to get on well.
President Reagan called it the Fireside Summit. It marked the start of a new, warmer relationship.
And a political process was started, which will be continued in the arms talks at Geneva over the next year.
The 2 first ladies did much to promote friendly terms. I feel we've known each other 100 years, said Mrs. Gorbachev.
Mr. Reagan said, "We've made a fresh start." Mr. Gorbachev said, "The world is a safer place because we've taken the first step towards a greater understanding."
And that's the national and international news tonight from Julia and me. Good night.
Good night.
Hello. Shock horror. Scotland was not the warmest place in the civilised world today. Wasn't England either, mind you. Guernsey, 8 Celsius, 46 degrees Fahrenheit. Prestwick was the sunniest, though, with a good 5 hours of sunshine. We still have this cold, damp, northeasterly flow over most of the country. But keep an eye on this little feature out here, because it's coming westwards towards us gradually and does bring a threat of some sleet and snow in places over the course of the weekend. Most of us still keeping in this damp run of northeasterly winds. That's the chart for midnight tomorrow night. That will very close to us by that time. No snow about at the moment. A pretty damp night for most of us. Over most of England and Wales, a lot of cloud, some rain or drizzle in places, mainly I think in the east, some low cloud as well down on the high ground. Most of Scotland, though, and most of Northern Ireland and western parts of Wales, a dry night with broken cloud. Here there will be a touch of frost, perhaps as low as -3 in the Glens. That's 27 degrees Fahrenheit, but too much cloud in the east for any frost. 2 Celsius, 36 Fahrenheit. Now tomorrow, let's start off with the easy bit. The northwest of Britain, mainly dry. Over central and western Scotland and over Northern Ireland, a lot of sunshine, I think, at times. Broken cloud. 1 or 2 showers in northeast Scotland and 1 or 2 showers too in West Wales and southwest of England. But the bits that I've not shown you so far, most of England and Wales, another grey, damp day with rain or drizzle at times. Again, mostly in the east, and it will become quite steady there later on, and it could well turn to sleet in places, but most of that up in the higher ground. Not very warm again anywhere. 5 Celsius is just 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's look at the weekend. Still fairly cold for most of us. The best weather in the west with some sunshine, but sleet or snow at times, I'm afraid, in parts of the east. Let's have a summary, though, of tomorrow's weather. Quite bright in the northwest, not too bad down the middle, just a few showers, but most of England and Wales, cloudy, cold, grey, damp and dire, with rain and drizzle at times. That's it. Good night.
Tomorrow, it's the Children in Need appeal. Here's Terry Wogan.
Hello, meet Pudsey. A very important and extremely bouncy little bear, quite a little rascal. He's the new mascot for this year's Children in Need appeal. And since we launched this campaign 5 years ago, a staggering £7 million has been raised for Britain's underprivileged youngsters. Now this year, John Craven, Sue Cook and I will be joined in the studio by a host of twinklers. Ronnie Corbett, Paul Nicholas, Joanna Lumley, Les Dawson, probably taking his clothes off, casts of Heidi High and EastEnders, and as if that were not enough, Lenny Henry, Hester Ranson, Doc Cox, Leslie Crowther, Colin Baker will be acting as guest reporters in film stories about the results of last year's appeal. So for heaven's sake, join us for the fun and the frolic on what promises to be a spectacular evening on BBC1. Am I right, Pudsey? You're absolutely right, Terry.
That's tomorrow from 7 o'clock onwards.
BBC Two now is spending 40 minutes with 15-year-old Sharon Jay, who's hoping for success like Samantha Fox as a page 3 girl. Here on One, due to our extended news, we're running a few minutes later than published, and in question time at 10:05, there are changes to the panel, which now consists of MPs Paddy Ashdown, Robin Cook and Malcolm Rifkind, and Robert McCartney, QC. Now on BBC One, Paul Nicholas and Jan Francis as Vince and Penny are just good friends.
On Sunday at 12:10, there's a special edition of the programme for the deaf and hard of hearing, See Here. And this vintage issue sees presenter Maggie Woolley sent to Coventry.
Hello, this week we're in Coventry to celebrate the 100th See Here. Why the old costume? Well, I'm going to the Coventry Deaf Sports and Social Club for their old-time music hall. Okay, trains, on you go.
That's the 100th edition of See Here, this Sunday at 12:10 on BBC One.
A reminder that because of our extended 9 o'clock news, programmes are running a few minutes late here on BBC One, and we'll now be meeting Maestro Sterling Moss at 11:05. That's in about an hour after Question Time with Sir Robin Day.
Thank you. Thank you. Hello and good evening and welcome to another Question Time for 60 minutes of topical argument on questions raised by our audience here. And until that far-off day when the House of Commons admits the television cameras, you'll just have to put up with programmes like this. Around the table with me, Malcolm Rifkind MP, Minister of State in the Foreign Office, where his special areas are the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, the EEC and Africa. He's a lawyer and is regarded by many as the brightest of Scotland's Tory MPs, though opinions differ as to how much of a compliment that